why I offer my services the way I do. So I've been doing this for 15 years, and I developed a formula, and also I've had readings with other psychics, and I realized certain things. I am a very practical person, and when I want advice, whether I go professional or to a friend, I just want the advice to be tangible, as in I can reach for it with my hands and hold it and touch it and feel it, and it's real. So yeah, I don't know how many readings you've had with other psychics, but sometimes it's a bit gone with the fairies, as in, well, it's down the spiritual rabbit hole and they talk about stuff I have no idea what they're talking about. Or I ask a question, how do I deal with the apples? And then they go into the medium side of things and they say, Sally says, send her love. And I'm like, who's Sally? So, yes, so basically, I just want everything to be very practical, and that's exactly what I offer my clients. I'm just going to read my notes here. Let me see. So, basically, I want everybody to understand what I'm offering. So if you ask me about the apples, I will channel all possible future outcomes about the apples until you find an option that is best suited for your needs, that you feel you can actually accomplish. Or maybe through the process of telling you about the apples, you actually figure out what it is that you want. Because most people come to me when they're lost and confused, they're at a crossroads, they're not sure which path to take, which choice to make. Or they're just feeling stuck and blocked, and they're going, I need apples, and I don't know what to do. So, and this is how the future-based outcomes work. If you peel 5 apples, what will the outcome be? If you grate 5 apples, what will the outcome be? But if you bake them, but if you chop them up into little bits and stir fry them, if you give them away, if you buy more apples, if you decide this is all just too overwhelming and I'm just going to focus on 1 apple. So you see what I'm saying? It's about, here is the problem and what are the possible solutions? How can we overcome this obstacle? And most of the time there are solutions, and very rarely the situation is set in stone. And then at least it helps us find a sense of peace in a weird sort of way, because then we know, I had the feeling and now I know. And in other scenarios, it's wonderful because they're like, oh, it never occurred to me to grate the apples. I always thought I had to bake them whole. And this is such a wonderful new idea. And I'm going to run with that because I really like the sound of that outcome. So yeah, that's how the future-based readings work. And it just also helps. Like, I've had clients who come along and they say, tell me about my life. And I'm like, what about your life? Because I want to help you with real things. Other psychics specialize in things like that, like, tell me about my life. They will be able to do these beautiful, broad sort of readings that will tell you a beautiful story. I've had a reading like that and it was really cool, but I had a burning question. And the psychics who specialize in the general things don't help with the burning questions. So through all these readings I had with other psychics, I decided to do the burning question readings. So yes. So this put me in a different sort of bracket. You know, some other psychics go very, very, very spiritual, talking about how their 12th dimensional starseed or the Akashic records or the fairies. I don't know. There's, you know, we're all such unique individuals and we all relate to life in such a different way. And for me, being the practical person that I am, I decided to offer practical readings because at the end of the day, what I want from my life is to understand what's going on. I want to find solutions. I want to know what my options are. I want to know, if I choose this option, what will that future look like? I want to know who's there looking after me, such as my guides and my guardian angels. I want to know why they're there. How do I connect with them? How are they helping me? How can I recognize them in everyday life? I sometimes also want to know what's going on in my energy field. Like, is there a block that I need to look out for? And then I do that as well, because sometimes when I need to do that for myself, I stand in front of a mirror and I have a look around just to see what's going on in the energy world. And then I'm able to see, oh, there's this color and that color. I will talk about the colors in another video. But yes, all the colors mean something in our energy field, and that's also something really interesting that we can do in a reading. Yeah, so there's so many options. There's so many practical things that I can help my client work through. And yeah, sometimes it turns into a brainstorming session of, I need an apple. And this, maybe my client is fundamental about, I must have an apple. And no matter which outcome I look into, an apple is not an option. And then we'll say, well, we've figured out that you want fruit. And it's actually the fact that it's fruit that is the fundamental. I mean, we could have also been talking about tuna and crackers and feta cheese, but you've decided you want fruit, which means your fundamental is that you want fruit and you're hoping for an apple. And then we will look into all sorts of future outcomes. It's like, what if it was a cherry? What if it was a banana or a kiwi? And then through that process of looking into the different options, we realize, hang on, I liked the idea of apples, but actually kiwis are the easiest solution. They actually meet most of my needs. And I had no idea I wanted kiwis until we discussed it. And so these are just some of the different ways that I offer my readings, because it's all I want as a person is a real down-to-earth experience. And that is why I offer what I offer. I've decided to keep things very neutral, as far as also the way I offer my reading. So yes, it's very practical, and also I keep my belief system to myself. So my belief system is my business. And yeah, I've had my own spiritual experiences, which has led to me having the belief system in a certain way. And what we've got to keep in mind is that this is your reading, and this is your belief system that I'm honoring. And sometimes I'll do an energy scan just to see what your belief system is, so that I can use respectable words, so that I can acknowledge who you believe in and use those words out of respect. So that is also something to take into consideration. There is no spiritual agenda, as in I will not be trying to convince you to be vegan and do yoga and believe in the fairies. I will be helping you to find your truth, and I will be using your words, and I will relate to you in a way that it makes sense to you, because this time is about you, it's not about me. And this is another aspect to take into consideration, which is basically, while we're relating, I want to help you to understand it from your perspective. So again, I will be through the process figuring out what your words are, and then respectfully using those words so that you can understand what's going on. And also, it's basically, I've lost my train of thought. But yes, so it's using your words, it's using your belief system, and I will let you know when I'm having an opinion. And I will be like, this is the pure psychic message, and this is what I think about it. What do you think about it? How do you relate? Sometimes I will even ask, do you want my opinion? Because not everybody does, and that's okay. And some people are like, yes, please tell me what your opinion is. And I'm Italian, and we're quite a loud bunch. So sometimes my opinion is a bit dramatic, or very feisty, or a bit loud, or it's like we are very decisive people. So it's not always necessary to know what my opinion is. But this is the point that I'm making, is I will always let you know the difference between my opinion and the psychic message. And yes, so that is how I offer my readings and why I offer them the way I do. So if you would like to find out more about how I offer my readings, I have a whole write-up on my website about all the different ways that I offer it, like what your options are for when you're preparing questions. It's www.happylight.co.za. Okay, have a wonderful day, and I will be putting up another message soon. Bye. Please subscribe by clicking on my image.